Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new, and welcome to another reading vlog. I am really excited about today's reading vlog because I'm going to be reading one of my most anticipated releases of 2022 and definitely my most anticipated thriller release of 2022, which is, of course, The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I spoke a little bit about this one in my April TBR pong, and I did say that I think Lucy Foley is definitely a love or hate author. Some people just really don't seem to get on with her writing at all, but I definitely do. And you may say, but India, you've only read one of her books. And I would reply, yes, but I freaking loved it. Yes, I've only read The Guest List by Lucy Foley, but I really enjoyed that book. I loved how we had so many different perspectives from different characters involved, how we had to kind of piece together all their different like vantage points of the event on that night. And I think this one is very similar in that sort of format. We've got all these different characters all involved in this Paris apartment and a murder that went down, and we're going to have to sort of piece together their different perspectives to try and find out what went on that night. I think a lot of people also don't get on with her writing because she does include very unlikable characters, but I don't mind that. I think it's quite interesting sometimes to read from an unlikable character's point of view. I prefer it that way when it's intentional than when an author writes a character who I just hate and you're supposed to like love them or at least feel some sort of niceness towards them. I really don't know much about this one other than the blurb, but the blurb is good enough for me. It says, welcome to number 12 Rue d'Amont, a beautiful old apartment block deep in the back streets of Montmartre, where nothing goes unseen and everyone has a story to unlock. The watchful concierge, the scorned lover, the prying journalist, the naive student, the unwanted guest. There was a murder here last night. A mystery lies behind the door of apartment 3. Who holds the key? I want to know who holds the key. I'm really hoping this is going to be another good twisty book from Lucy Foley where we don't really know who to trust, we don't know who's a goodie, who's a baddie, whose side we want to be on. And yeah, hopefully I'm going to have a really fun time reading this. So I'm just going to take you along with me for the journey, give you all my thoughts along the way, but of course keep them spoiler free. I'll just sort of vaguely talk about what's happening and how I'm feeling about it. So yeah, I think this one is like just over 400 pages, so I'm hoping it's going to be quite a quick read actually. The font is rather large, so fingers crossed I can bang this out, if not in one day, definitely two, and just bring a really nice cozy thriller reading vlog to you all. So without further ado, I'm gonna get reading. Guys, the hoodie is on. I'm chilly. So I have read the first 60 pages of The Paris Apartment. Also, can we just, I didn't realise how beautiful this was going to be until I took the dust jacket off purely for a bit of b-roll, and I realised it's got the most pretty foiling. I love it. I love it so much. But anyway, yes, I've read the first 60 pages and so far I'm hooked. I want to know what the hell is going on in this apartment building. It sounds very sus, very creepy. I don't know what's going on, but I want to know. Basically, we start with the prologue in which Ben is a young man in his apartment. He is in apartment 3, the one where everything goes down, and he is just sending like a voice note to his half sister who is on her way to come and stay with him because she sounds like quite a troubled young woman and something has happened again in her life at home in Brighton, so she is coming to Paris to come and stay with Ben for a little while, and he's leaving a voice note to say like, when you get here just ring the buzzer and I'll let you straight up. But when he's doing that, someone turns the key in the lock to his apartment, opens the door, comes in, and at first he obviously recognises who it is because it's in third person person, but it basically says like he's not scared, he's just like confused, like
why are you coming into my apartment with your own key, what the hell's going on?
And then he notices what this person is holding, and then the fear sets in. And then 3 hours later, we skip to Jess, who is his half-sister, who shows up at this apartment to come and stay with Ben, but he's not answering the door, he's not answering his phone, he is nowhere to be found. We don't know what the heck has happened to him. But then we follow a few different perspectives. So we've had Jess, who's the half-sister, we've got Mimi, who's like a young student living in the apartment, Sophie, who's like a 50-year-old woman who seems to really care about her appearance and like looking good and looking still in her prime. Who else have we had? We've had someone else, I'm sure. Oh, the concierge. We follow the concierge, who's like an older woman, but she says she's like stronger than she looks, which suspicious. Yeah, and then we're also hearing about some of the other people who live in this apartment through those other perspectives. I think that's the only perspective we've got. We've got Sophie, Mimi, concierge, Jess and Ben. And obviously we're mostly following Jess, like most of the chapters are from her while she tries to work out like what has happened, where Ben is. She is just now starting to get really concerned at this like 60-page mark, thinking
I think he's actually missing and there might be something sinister going on in this apartment block.
But basically every person that we followed so far have all said
everything changed when Benjamin Daniels came to the apartment.
So obviously something's not right here. We also know that Ben is a journalist and he was like writing a big story. Like one of the first lines I tabbed straight away that said, this is the story that's going to make his name. So I feel like he's found out something about this apartment building or like the people in this building, and they're not too happy about that and they've got rid of him. That's the current vibe. We'll see as we go on. Obviously, like I said, I'm only 60 pages through, but I'm intrigued. I'm definitely hooked. I'm loving how short the chapters are, like how much we're flicking from person to person, because it just makes me keep reading. You guys know I love short chapters, and when it's going from different perspectives like this, I feel like it just really keeps you engaged and keeps you wanting to know what's going on, especially because all of them are being quite shady. They all clearly are hiding things, and each time you get a new perspective you kind of go, maybe they're gonna like shed some light on what the heck is going on here. Also, I just started tabbing last month and I've been trying to like sort of figure out my style, like what I like to tab, and it definitely does change from book to book. I'm really enjoying annotating, and I've decided for thrillers I'm basically going to tab anything that comes up that I feel like could be a clue, or like I feel like could come up later or could be used later. So far I have tabbed 4 parts in the first 60 pages. So those were 4 lines that I feel like, that could mean something. I mean, I might end up with just tons of tabs for things that have absolutely no relevance whatsoever, but it's fine, it's fun, I'm enjoying it. Let me know if you annotate, how you annotate thrillers, like what sort of things you annotate, because I feel like it's different annotating a thriller to what it is like a romance or a fantasy. Like for that I'll usually do like nice language or like really cute moments, funny moments. Thriller, it's a little bit different. So yeah, let me know how you annotate thrillers if you do. But that is really my update for now. Enjoying the book. Hopefully that will continue, so I'll give you another update soon. Alright guys, so I'm really not too much further into this at all, but I have decided on another thing to tab. So I've decided to tab all of the like creepy moments. I'm not really sure why, I just feel like maybe I'll want to look back on them and remember like how creepy a book could get. So for example, the first one that I decided to do that for was when Jess was in her brother's apartment and then she realised there was like this secret door behind her because she heard footsteps behind her in this wall. She didn't understand like how there could be footsteps there because it wasn't like at the front of the apartment where anyone could be. So she found this little secret door, she goes through and it's like pitch black, but then she turns around and realizes that there is like a little peephole into the apartment so that someone who was, if anyone was in this little corridor like stairway, they could peep in and spy on Ben in his apartment. And then she hears footsteps going down this staircase, so she goes down and she realizes that on each floor there's like a little peephole for every apartment, and it's not clear if these have been here for years or if someone has installed these recently, but definitely someone has been able to spy on everyone in their apartments, which is just creepy. So yeah, I decided to do like a little yellow tab, which you can't really see, for any creepy moments. So there has been a couple so far, so now I am tabbing moments that I think might come up later or could be clues, although I'm trying to rein that in because the thing with Lucy Foley and with this book is that she's putting little seeds constantly throughout the chapters that could all mean something or could mean absolutely nothing at all. So I'm trying to only tab ones that I really think okay, that's going to be a clue. And then I'm going to have creepy moments. And I'm quite happy with that. I feel like those are good things to remember in a book, and it'll just be interesting to go back throughout to like my little clue portions and see if they do mean anything as the book goes on, if they like tie up with other seeds that we get. But yeah, I think I'm on page 103 now, and we're basically just following Lucy at Lucy? Who's Lucy? We're following Jess as she starts to question all of her neighbours, all of Ben's neighbours, try and find out what has happened to Ben. And what's good about it is like when she goes to speak to them, it'll usually switch to that person's perspective, and then we'll often get like little flashbacks or like memories as her questions like trigger a memory, and they'll think about like when they first met him or just little things from the past that could add to the story. I think that's a really interesting way to do it, to make sure that we have like a more rounded picture of what is going on. Yeah, my theories are still pretty non-existent, other than the fact that I think he dug up something about this apartment and they've like got rid of him for it, and they all seem to have some sort of idea of what this is because they're all already sort of speaking about him in the past tense, and they're all very shifty with Jess. They don't really want to answer any questions. They all said things changed when he arrived and like he sort of was too curious. So yeah, I'm definitely intrigued. I definitely want to know what is going on. I feel like I'm probably going to read this one pretty fast, and fingers crossed it lives up to my expectations. Okay guys, so I am now halfway through the book. I am on page 201. This is like just less than 400 pages. So I'm halfway through and I've had to add a third coloured tab. And this one is for twists because, my lord, I did not see that twist coming. Like, this is the halfway mark and she's pulling out the stops already. We already have some twists and turns. That one, I'm still shook. That came from absolutely nowhere, but it was amazing. I have absolutely no idea what it means for the rest of the book and how this is going to continue. Honestly, this is why I remember that I love Lucy Foley, because I'm sure the guest list was just as twisty, and the fact that it's come in halfway through makes me think that the rest of this book is going to have many more twists to come. I'm honestly so excited to continue. So yeah, we have added a blue tab for any big twists that come our way, although I don't know if we're topping that one because that one was... there are no words. So yeah, if you couldn't tell, I am still absolutely loving this book. Completely hooked, totally engrossed in the story. It kind of reminds me of another book that I'm actually reading at the moment, which is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I'm currently buddy reading that with my friend Tabitha, so I'm only reading like 50 pages a day. But there are a couple of things in this that remind me of that, including like this very posh but mysterious apartment building, and a couple of other things as well that have been very similar. So I'm intrigued to see how those play out in both of the thrillers. I also realised that the whole thing about this like key in the lock type thing, obviously when it said in the blurb who holds the key, it means, I guess in like an abstract way, who holds the key to the answer to what is going on, which is what I originally thought. But then I also realised, that it also literally means who has the key to Ben's apartment, who was able to open the door to his apartment, come in and possibly murder him. I also think such a good concept in this book is the fact that this is in like a foreign country to Jess, who's like she's the main character that we're really following. She's the one that's trying to work out what's going on, while the rest of the characters are all like super shady, obviously know something. It's all very like, I don't know, I have theories, so we shall see. me if I am correct when it comes to the end of the book. I will let you know. But one of the things I find really interesting is that she has a language barrier to like most of the other characters in this. So yes, they can all speak English and they will speak to her, but they'll also mutter things in French, or they'll speak to each other in French. And she's also like used one of these characters as like a translator when she has gone to other places to speak to other people, which I think is very interesting, because can she really rely on what these people are saying? Are they telling the truth? Are they being more secretive in their native language? So it makes all of them like quite unreliable, not just to her but to us as well. I think that's why I'm loving this book so much, because I just love an unreliable narrator, and basically every narrator in this is hugely unreliable for one reason or another. It's all just super shady, super sinister. I feel like whatever is going on is probably going to be quite dark. And yeah, I mean, as you can see from the amount of tabs there are things being brought up constantly that could be a clue to something, that have me thinking, like what's going on here? But all of these things could also just be complete red herrings. I think Lucy Foley is very good at that. So yeah, I just can't wait to see how this all plays out. I've got just less than 200 pages left, I think, or have I got just over 200 pages? Just over 200 pages to go. So I'll probably read a little bit more of this tonight and then probably finish it off tomorrow. Good morning, guys. It is now the next day. I'm actually coming to you from my mum's car once again. She has just come to this little lock nearby our house to take the dog for a walk, so I thought I'd come for the journey, come for a little drive, and I got myself a Starbucks on the way. Caramel oat milk latte, thank you very much. But last night I have brought my book with me because I'm hoping they'll be gone for like at least like 20 minutes, so I could have a little read in the woods in my element. There's just something about reading a thriller in the woods. It's just like a whole vibe, and I'm here for it. So I did read a little bit more of The Paris Apartment last night, and I'm now on page 273. So I've got about 130 pages left, so I'm really thinking now it's probably going to proper speed up. We're going to get lots of reveals coming quick and fast. I have had 2 more little blue tabs. I don't know if you can, I don't think you can see them, but there's 2 more blue tabs there. Not so much twists, more just like reveals. I don't know, there's kind of a difference. Like a twist for me is one where you're like
oh my god, did not see that coming.
And a reveal's more like,
Oh, that's interesting.
you know, I don't know, it makes sense to me. So I've had a couple more reveals, but I feel like it's all going to really start happening now. I still really don't know what the heck is going on. Like I said, I have theories, and not much has really been touched on properly for like the storyline that I have a theory about. I don't really, this is hard to explain because I don't want to give any spoilers, but basically we are still just following Jess, going around asking her questions, trying to find out what has happened to her brother. One of the perspectives that I really like is the concierge, because she is obviously just like an employee, this old woman that lives in her little log cabin like on the grounds. She basically just watches everything, sees everything. She pops up and like at all these different points she's always watching. She saw what happened that night to Ben. We know she watched from her window. She saw like in his window what happened to him, who did whatever they did to him. But because she's employed by like this really rich family, she's not going to say anything. So we know she kind of like holds the key, as it were, but we know there are also other characters who know a lot more than they're letting on as well. And yeah, we definitely have unlikable characters in this one as usual, but I would say the more you read, the more you kind of understand why they are the way they are. There's a lot in this about sort of like damaged people due to family relationships, domestic relationships, parent-child relationships. There's a lot in here about that for many of the characters, and I feel like the more you learn about them and their background, the more you kind of understand why the way they are. So I've heard people saying they really don't like this book because the characters were too unlikable, but I don't know, I think it's understandable. And yes, some of the things they do, some of the things they say and do are really annoying, but it's not to the point that it makes me want to stop reading. So yeah, I am going to sit here in my element with my coffee in my forest and read a little bit more of this just now, and I will give you another update soon. Alright guys, I have just finished The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley and I'm going to give this one 4 out of 5 stars. So since I last spoke to you, it has been an absolute emotional roller coaster with this book. You can probably tell from the amount of blue tabs here, which are all reveals and or twists. Basically for the last 100 pages, I'd say the first 50 pages of that, I was reading it and I was kind of like, oh, like, this is okay. We're getting all these reveals, but I'd guessed them all. Like, I was kind of thinking, oh, like, maybe this book was just, like, not for me. Maybe the way that Lucy Foley had written it, the way she'd paced it, the way that she'd plotted it, I just, like, connected to more, I guess, and was able to work out everything that she was putting forth for us and was able to understand what all these clues were. And I was kind of like, oh, like, that's fine. Like, maybe for other people it would be more exciting, but for me, I guess that's it, 3 stars. However, then we got the last 50 pages of the book. Everything changed. I did not see those last 50 pages coming whatsoever. I'm still a little shook. I was on reading sprints because I'm just hosting some on my channel just now when that happened, and probably my whole like audience saw me go literally jaw dropping. Did not see that twist coming whatsoever. It made the book so much better because it was almost like maybe she was like lulling us into a false sense of security. Maybe we were supposed to pick up on those little breadcrumbs and then this was the real twist. I don't know, but either way, totally bumped it up a star. 4 out of 5 stars. Wow. So if anyone is reading this book, if you get to those last 100 pages and you're thinking, oh, like, is this it? That was kind of like predictable. Just wait for the next 50 pages because mind blown. So yeah, I have once again really enjoyed a book by Lucy Foley. That is both of her books that I've read now that have been 4 out of 5 stars. So now I need to read The Hunting Party because that's the one that I've seen quite a few people give a low rating. So I'd be interested to see how I feel about it. Maybe I'll love that one as well, or maybe it'll just be like a bit of a miss. Because like you're not always going to love all of an author's books. There are going to be hits and misses. So we shall see. But that'll bring us to the end of this reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed this little dedicated Paris apartment reading vlog. Please let me know if you did. Let me know if there's any other books, whether they're thrillers, fantasy, romance, any genre. Let me know if you'd like a dedicated reading vlog for any of those and I will try to get around to them for you. If you made it to the end of this video, then pop, is there like an Eiffel Tower emoji? If not, we'll do a key. I don't think there is. No. If you made it to the end of this video, do the key emoji for the lovely cover and the fact that the whole blurb is basically unlock the mystery. Only you hold the key. Just let me know that you made it to the end of this video and that you enjoyed your time here. But as always, if you did enjoy this video, then do please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe for more bookish content from me. Comment down below with any of your thoughts and feelings. I do reply to every single comment. I love you all and I will see you in my next one.